Hi, today I would like to show you how I've made this enclosure for my Prusa printer. This is Medic3D and today I will tell you what mistakes I've made during creating the enclosure and how to avoid them so you can save time and filament. Also, I will talk about cost of creating this enclosure and my thoughts about this design at the end of the video. Right now I can answer you the biggest question. Why did I build this? Because it looks cool, my Prusa does not cover with dust so quickly. Also, for some filament it is just better to keep it nice and warm. What's more, I have some ABS left to print with, and there is nothing better than the smell of ABS in the morning. By the way, if you doubt that Plexi can isolate the heat, just check my quick tests. I've set the heatbed temperature to 100 degrees Celsius and after 20 minutes it was 0.4 degrees difference. The next test ran for an hour and it was 4.1 degrees difference. Because I do not have a MMU unit, I've decided to create the old version of the enclosure. After gathering all the materials and printing all the parts, I proceed to assemble. The first step is to assemble the upper table. This went smoothly. Now it's time to assemble the lower table, and it was also the problem-free step. After checking if the two tables fits together, I proceed to the next part. This was a little bit tricky. I did not have the magnets of the size required to fit to the STL files for the doorknobs, so I've remodeled the parts and used what I've had on hand. I've used smaller magnets and insert 4 or 5 of them in each part, paying extra attention to their polarities. Then it was time to dismount PSU, and this was the first stop point. The price for the PSU was too small, so I've had to remodel it. The same was with Heatbed cover. In order to make the printer's frame stronger after removing the PSU, I've installed the 3D printed replacement bracket. I've decided to install additional table at the bottom. As a result, I got more storage space and the printer is higher, so it's easier to reach. And the last step is to install the door latches, and it is done. It looks really cool, but I think I will need to modify it. The first thing is these doors and the hinges. They work okay, but it could be better, and I think that my plexi is a little bit too tall, and this bottom hinge is a little bit crooked, so it rubs against the table here, and as you can see, it even tear apart some parts of the table, and it is scratched, so I would need to modify it. The next thing about this design I have a problem with is that it is a little bit too low. So if I would go with the z-axis all the way up, as you can see, the filament is pretty crooked. It's kinda okay, but could be better, I guess. Yeah, so when you... It works, but meh. The next part I would like to change is remove the LCD screen from here and mount it under the table so it won't be inside the enclosure. Also, it would be nice if I could get all the electronics outside, but I don't know if it's possible. Still need to check it out. The next thing is that it is quite stable, but could be a little bit more stable. So I'm thinking about printing some brackets to reinforce the legs. Another downside of this design is that the side and back panels are not removable. So if you are printing with PLA, you need to remove the upper table, and this is not the most convenient way of doing so. So I would redesign it so I can just somehow remove the panel and hide it somewhere. Now the bill of materials I've used to build this enclosure. So I've paid 75 zlotych, which is 19.77 USD for the 3 Ikea Lack tables. I've paid 110 zlotych for Plexi cut to the size for all the panels, which is about $30. I've bought smoke detector, thermometer, and some screws and magnets. So in total, for the materials, I've spent 278.35 zlotych, which is about $75. As for printing time, it takes 52 hours and 30 minutes to print all the parts and about 600 grams of filament. In my case, I've spent some more time because I had to remodel the PSU holder and heatbed cover, so I've spent a little bit more than that. But this should give you an idea of how much money and filament and time you need to spend. As for assembling the enclosure, it takes, I guess, an hour or two to put it together. It is really straightforward, there's nothing complicated. Watch my other cool videos made just for you. In the future I will print with ABS and nylon using this enclosure, so subscribe and you won't miss it.